Hello, everyone. It's your friend Tristan Miller. I'm just here to inform you that I'm recording my first stand-up comedy album and special on May the 4th in New York City at Caveat at 4 p.m. You can go to the link in my bio on my social media platforms, or you can go to caveat.com, go to May the 4th, and buy tickets there. Highly recommend that you get them early as they are cheaper that way. Also, after the show, I'm going to go, Phantom Menace is playing in theaters. So I'm going to take a big group to go to the nearest AMC or whatever Cineplex and go see my favorite Star Wars movie. I'll say it with my full chest. My favorite Star Wars movie in theaters again. So hope to see you at both things. If you have to pick one, just pick my show, please. I would like to sell out the house if possible. Anyway, love you. Hope to see you soon. Okay, bye-bye. Coming soon to theaters, podcasts, film reviews, and so much more. Available at tristanmiller.substack.com.
And now, our feature presentation.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Focus Testing, a podcast about movies where we make a movie. My name is Tristan Miller, and joining me today is...
Sami Riou.
There you are, Sami. So, Sami, you and I met doing an improv class, but that's not the first time you'd done it. You went to school for acting, right?
I did acting like all growing up. Like I was in a children's theater company, did it in high school. Yeah, lots of character building from that. And then I went to school for theater. And then when I was in college, I was part of a sketch comedy group as well. So that was how I started doing comedy.
Yeah. I'd love to hear a little bit more about the sketch comedy group in college.
Yeah, so do you know neo-futurism, like Chicago neo-futurism?
All of those words sound very familiar to me, but maybe not in that order.
So basically the format is the audience will be presented with a menu, and the menu will have like a bunch. See, I knew you knew what I was talking about. It'll be a bunch of different titles, and they're all numbered. And the way it goes is the audience will get to decide what comes next. Yes. So our sketch comedy group was formed like that. It was called 30 and 60. And we would give the audience menus of 30 sketches that we had come up with over a few weeks of sketch making. And as soon as our sketch was over, we'd be like, scene, pick a number. And they'd say what the next one was, and that would be the next one that we do. But the whole thing is we would try to fit all 30 sketches in 60 minutes. So we try to beat the clock. So as soon as we'd be like, see, pick a number, rip off the number, do the scene real quick. And here's the thing, Tristan, with like 30 sketches, they can't all be bangers. There will be bangers in there. But for every like 5-minute fleshed out hero's journey, masterpiece of physical comedy, there will be a 15-second sketch called The Invisible Man where no one comes on stage.
And that's admittedly funny, but yeah, for sure. I think that's also so freeing then at a certain point when you're writing sketches where you're like, we have this number, we don't need to worry about quality at a certain point. And the more you do it, the higher quality it will become just because you'll get better at doing it by doing it.
Yes.
Yeah. You mentioned from Chicago. Is that where you're from? No.
No. That's just where the style's from. I am from Florida. The Sunshine Chains. Yeah, that's what they call it. I feel like such a scarlet letter whenever I say that's where I'm from these days.
I mean, that's understandable. I mean, I have a few friends that are from New Jersey and then moved to Florida and then moved back here. And I'm like, why are you, you just keep picking the two worst ones. According to general consensus, having been to Miami one time, it is exactly how Dave Barry describes it. And it's, it's its own thing, but I don't think it's bad.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. So you did this sketch comedy and then you came here and was doing improv part of the sketch comedy as well? Would you improvise sketches and then write them down, or was it a sit down in a writer's room kind of situation?
It was a mix of both. We'd meet twice a week and do sketch making, where sometimes we'd come with ideas and be like, okay, I just thought of this funny concept. and here's the exact beats. Or sometimes you'd be like, I have this loose idea, let's improv and see where it goes. Or sometimes you'd be like, I just think the title Silver Balls is funny. Let's just do improv based off of that and see what comes of it.
That's very nice and, you know, very open, and that makes sense. As to why you were so keen on everything we were doing when we met in the BCC class. But it's not just about comedy. This is also about movies, obviously. I love movies. I love talking about the movies. What was your first memory in the cinema?
I have, you know, when you're like really, really little, like truly like 3, and you have those like memories you can't really tell if it was like a dream or not.
Yeah.
My like very first movie is actually going to the movies to see Monsters Inc. I just
Oh,
remember, yeah, I remember being in the theaters and that was on the screen, but that's kind of all I remember from that specific experience. So that's my first one.
okay. That's a good movie to be your first memory, you know.
Yeah, I wish I remembered it. Other early ones were, I remember there always used to be good movies coming out for my birthday. So it'd be like my birthday party. We'd take like all
Okay.
my friends from like kindergarten and first grade. And I remember seeing Chicken Little came out on my birthday.
Sick.
Underrated movie. And honestly, we should have heeded some of his warnings today.
Yep.
Um, and the other one was the SpongeBob SquarePants movie. I remember seeing those for my birthdays.
Oh, that's very good. That's always good. Like, cause like with a movie, what's so nice about it, and I think this applies to friendships and dates now as well, is it's so good to go with a group because then there's something inherent to talk about. If there's a
Yeah.
lull in what's going on, you can be like, oh, well, what did you think of the thing we just saw? And
Yeah.
then even if it meanders somewhere else and then there's a pause, you can be like, do you remember when he blah, 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 blah? It's so good. That's really lovely. And it's so nice to have cinema as a communal thing, eh?
Yeah, my first date with my boyfriend actually was to the movies.
What'd you see?
We saw Wonder Woman.
Nice. And
Yeah.
thoughts?
Yeah, it was really good. I mean, obviously my mind was elsewhere since it was my first date.
Fair enough.
But honestly, I remember being locked in. He's always like, I wanted to hold your hand, but you were just so focused on the movie. And I was like, yeah, there was a lot of stuff going on if you were paying attention. Patty Jenkins was doing her big one.
That's true. Um, yeah, do you go to the movies by yourself now as an adult?
I don't, and I honestly wish I did. I am
Mm.
an AMC A-lister. I have like an A-list group and we'll like make reservations for each other. You know how there's
Mhm.
like the entourage?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
people will
yeah.
be like, hey, if anyone wants to go see like The Brutalist, I made a reservation for all of us on Saturday. If you can't make it, just cancel it.
That's
So
a
it's
really good system.
yeah, let me know if you went in on it, but, like, that's how I'll make sure to see a lot of these things, but
Mhm.
then if I miss the time that, like, everyone went, or there's, like, a movie that truly no one wants to see, it's so hard for me to find the time to, like, go see it by myself, which I hate
Mhm.
because then I, like, miss these movies that I really wanted to see.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, I feel like there is something kind of culturally, everyone's like doing something alone is like such a bummer. And I'm like, I don't know if you've ever gone to dinner and then a movie by yourself, but it fucking rips.
I can
It's
imagine.
so good. You get to just like sit and think your little thoughts. I go to the movies a lot by myself because I go after work. So I'll
Mhm.
just nip over to Kips Bay and go see whatever's playing. I am also an A-lister, which is really nice in as much as like it lets you see films that you weren't necessarily thinking you would, and
Yes.
also see them impulsively because like as a New Yorker, like it's $25 to see a movie. I'm not gonna just go do that, you know,
Yeah, that's an occasion.
for sure. Do you have a favorite cinema snack?
I feel like they kind of perfected it with popcorn.
True.
Like, there's something about just, like, a big bucket of popcorn, and I'm one
Hmm.
of those fiends who, like, goes in with the butter. Like, I have a
Okay.
technique where I'm, like, moving the kernels around, making sure I get, like, the popcorn circulated all through the bottom and shake it up. I love the popcorn. Anytime I'm
Mhm.
like, "Let me try the fruit snacks," or, "Let me get a slushie," I'm always like, "Ah, I should've just gotten popcorn. I wish I got popcorn. I want popcorn."
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna say popcorn.
Yeah. Do you do a big soda? Do a big soda with the popcorn?
Not usually, just because like,
Really?
my bladder is very, very
Mm,
tiny, very petite, and I'm really not
very
trying to miss
demure.
very demure, not very mindful. If it was mindful, it would let me get through these movies. So I try not to, so I don't have to miss any of the movie.
That is fair enough, and maybe a lesson I should in fact learn, because I love a big soda. I love sitting there with what feels like a huge gulp.
Yeah.
What's a movie you've seen lately that you'd like to recommend to people?
That I would like to recommend to people. This is it's so embarrassing because I feel like I watch so many bad movies, but then they entertain me so much that I'm like, when I recommend this to you, don't take this as like a masterpiece.
Okay.
Take this as like it will be an experience. And for the first time, my roommates and I watched the 50 Shades trilogy.
Hell yeah, brother.
And it is so just ridiculous. Like, to say it's a farce is an understatement. It is ridiculous from the first 10 seconds. Like, even just the font choice that comes on screen, you're like, yeah, yeah. It is just like the acting or lack thereof, the script or lack thereof. It is truly ridiculous. And I was fiending each night to watch the next one. I said, this is crazy, but I'm gonna need you guys to start the next movie immediately.
It's
So I
fantastic.
would recommend, do not watch looking for a good movie. Go in with a sense of humor and to see some truly ridiculous things happen in front of you. But yeah, so I guess I would recommend those. It was a fun experience. They were hilarious.
That's so good. I remember seeing the first in theaters and being like, "What the hell is this?"
Yeah.
They're very. I would say they're very entertaining pictures, and I think quite rightly they kind of have a long tail, kind of similarly to the Twilight films, in as much as people are like, okay, I think we understand what the tone of this picture is now. Now it's entertaining rather than like something to be taken seriously, if that makes sense.
Yes. Do you know the Twilight connection with 50 Shades?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I like had heard of that, but then I always hadn't seen 50 Shades, but seeing that it is so clear. Like they literally have her dressed as Bella. There was like an apple next to her at one point. Like
Yeah.
it's so thinly veiled. It's crazy.
Yeah, I know, it's fucking wild. It's so weird, and it did make Dakota Johnson like a star in a way that like I don't think she was necessarily expecting. In as much as like that style of acting that she does in that film is what's been continued to be asked of her. If that makes
That was
sense.
a very kind way of saying that, Tristan.
Thank you. I I
I was
try.
expecting.
I mean, it's kind of mimetic though, in a way, because like Madam Web, everyone's like, I can't stop talking about this movie for like 2 weeks or whatever, because everything moves so quick. But like, it was, shall we say, distinctive.
Yeah, singular.
Yeah. Are you ready for some movie trivia?
Yes, I love trivia. I want to
Okay.
win.
Okay.
What's my prize?
Your prize is that I continue to ask you more trivia. So,
Yes. Just what I wanted.
first question, as always, is what is movie?
Okay. Thank you for this question.
That's such a better alternative to, ooh, good question. Thank you for this question. Is
Thank you for this question
absolutely.
so much. Like I'm at a press conference.
Oh, that really
I
got
think
me.
I think the answer is in the question really. Instead
Okay.
of what is movie is. You see?
Wow. Wow.
You've
Yeah.
heard of I think therefore I am. What is movie? Movie is. It's
Movie.
always been here. It's been here long before us. It will be here long after us. Movie is everything. And
Movie's
movie
life.
movie is love, movie is life. Movie is sound that I can feel. Movie is dazzling pictures on a huge silver screen.
It's true. All of those things I would agree with. Well done.
Thank you.
Um, so, what filmmaker do you think should make the next Marvel movie?
Oh, that's an interesting question. And I feel like a very pivotal one for where Marvel is at.
Yes.
They need someone to make a bona fide certified hit, not just financially.
Yeah,
Um,
like something people talk about. Yeah.
yeah, something that people will talk about, something that people will trust. But It's tough. I'm trying to think like what superhero this person would want to focus on. I was really about to say Ryan Coogler, as if that's not his whole thing, is the famous, amazing Marvel movie he made.
True.
Hmm. I My favorite movie of the year was probably The Substance.
Great film.
So I'd say, what's the woman who directed that name?
Boy, I wish I
It
could
is
tell you.
something it's something beautiful in French, and I really like the way she sees the world. So I
Mhm.
think her doing a Marvel movie would be really interesting, especially with a female superhero. I think she could do something really cool there.
I think I agree 100%, and I think that'd be great. And then also, if the villain would be some sort of body horror esque thing,
Yeah.
like maybe The Thing, or something to
Yes,
that. They all be fallen into vats of something. So yeah, I
of
can
course.
definitely
There used
see
to be a
that.
lot of those.
That's great. That's a great answer.
Thanks.
What country do you think should replace the United States as top dog for films? We've had it too good for too long.
That is true. I feel like, hmm, one of my favorite movies of the last few years. Did you see RRR?
I have not.
Oh, it's so good. It's
Mm,
really, really good, and it's just, like, an epic. So,
mm-hmm,
honestly, I feel like India's always kind of been cooking with, like, Bollywood, so I
mm-hmm.
feel like maybe they should really get, like, their credit for how much they put into their movies. Like, the production value is crazy, the stars coming out of there are crazy, and, like, how much money these movies make. So I feel like, honestly, it probably always should have been them. So maybe now they can have their shine.
True, I agree. And like I think really what's pivotal for that is American audiences just accepting that like a movie can't have everything. Because
Yeah.
like the way they a lot of the times the way they do this, like, yeah, there's a musical number, an action scene, romance, humor, and everything. It could just be a full spectacular thing rather than like it's got to be this. I feel like
Yes.
Americans are very like, well, what is it? What can
Oops,
I what
famously.
box can I put it in?
You're getting political.
Oh, me never, 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 never. Oh gosh, I had what let me start this question again. What director do you think is the best actor? And it can't be an actor turned director. That's cheating.
It can be a director turned actor
Yeah, like
or
but not like Greta Gerwig was an actor first. So of course
right.
she's great. Ben Affleck actor first. Of course he's good. But like a director who's a performance you've seen that you're like actually really good.
Okay, this is going to be so niche and you're gonna laugh, but it's like so incredibly niche. I am a huge fan of the movie Sing
Great film. What is it?
and the
What is a
sequel.
mouse? What has he got? About
Thank
himself.
you. Okay, you get it.
Buster Moon,
And Sing
absolutely.
2, I'm an even bigger fan of.
Mm-hmm.
And there's the main villain, the big bad, Mr. Crystal. He's a wolf,
Mm-hmm.
played by Barbie Cannavale, and he's this little assistant who I think is like a cat, who's like very neurotic and like clearly infatuated with Mr. Crystal, who
Mm-hmm.
is played uncredited by Spike Jones, which is so funny, and he does such like just an earnestly good job.
It's moments like this, Sammy, where I go, there's the clip I'm going to share on social media. That's such a good poll. That's incredible. Ugh.
Thank you.
Ugh. Also, great taste. Sing 1 and 2, excellent films. Was
Love those.
not expecting to like them, went in both times. Very great times, emotional. I think about Buster Moon a lot. I think he's great.
Oh, you ate that.
Do what I can. That's a great fucking pick. What book do you think should never be turned into a movie? And don't say the Bible because it's too easy as a joke.
No, because that's what I thought.
I know.
Um,
I'm sorry to.
no, but that's important. You want to stay higher. You want to stay higher. Um, I so John M. Chu, his next movie that he's doing after Wicked Part 2 is
Okay.
an adaptation of Oh the Places You'll Go
By
by Dr.
Theodore Geisel.
Seuss. Yeah, Dr. Theodore Geisel.
That's
Um,
Okay. Are
I
we doing?
I don't know. Any
Are
question
you?
you have, I don't know. I'm watching with bated breath, and I don't know. I mean, the Dr. Seuss movies, I mean, that's a genre on its own, really. I don't know if we need more. If there's anyone I trust to do it, it's that guy after seeing In the Heights and Wicked and Crazy Rich Asians,
Mm,
but I'm watching with caution
yeah.
of another of another Dr. Seuss movie, and that one.
I think that's a great answer because it also speaks to something that's about to happen. And I feel like, I think that like one, why that book? There's a lot of books that have a narrative from
Yeah.
Dr. Seuss. Lots of them, actually. Most of them do. So it's kind of crazy for them to pull that one out, but go off, I guess. And then the other thing is you know that Mike Myers is responsible for Minions. Have you heard this?
No,
Can
and can he go to jail for that?
Yeah,
Is the
baby.
statute of limitations still like, can we still, send him to jail for that?
If I may, I hope so. If I can illuminate, pun not intended, but it was there.
Oh,
Um,
he did that.
um, but so basically, the Cat in the Hat movie was so bad that the estate of Dr. Seuss said no more of these. We can't do any more live action Dr. Seuss's. The Grinch was a phenomenon in a way that we were like, okay, well, despite being not on board, we got on board with it. Cat in the Hat comes out. It's awful. It's terrible. It looks like a headache on wheels. No one liked it. So then they moved over to this like animation, like the Horton Hears a Who and all of that, right? Then that gets
Right.
scrapped, and everyone from there goes to Illumination and causes Minions to occur. So it is unfortunately Mike Myers' fault that we all go banana now.
Wow, that butterfly effect is really something. Well,
Really, yeah, it's not particularly funny. I mean, it kind of is conceptually, but not like haha. It's more like what?
no, it's literally like, how did okay. Is someone gonna
Hmm.
tell him he did that? Because I don't know if he'll be happy to hear he did that.
I mean, I think he has other things going on in his life currently that he should probably be attending to. Have you seen him recently? He looks good though.
Okay, good. I saw him. They've been doing all of the like SNL 50 stuff, and I saw him in some things for that.
Oh, nice. Um, Let me see. Um, I trust you to know what I mean by this next question because I don't, but I trust you to do.
Okay.
Do you think success is worse than not success?
I mean, no, it
Okay.
can't be. Because I mean, I understand that success can bring about a lot of consequences that you might not be prepared for. But like the worst thing ever is just never knowing, like, oh, could I have been successful? Could I have done that? At least if you're successful, no matter what drama and baggage that comes with, at least you're like, look, I fucking did it. I did it. So at least you know.
That's true. That's a good way of thinking about it. I think you just cured my anxiety. Appreciate that.
Oh, okay. And for free.
Yeah, I know. I'll write you a check.
Thank you.
A check is so. Oh,
Check is.
check, please. I have two more for you.
Okay.
What movie monster is your favorite?
What movie monster is my favorite?
Mm-hmm.
That's tough. I'm not one for a monster.
You don't like
Not
a
that I don't
monster?
enjoy monster movies, but I'm just like, what are you guys up to? I feel much like I know how killers work. I can kinda get how the ghosts and demons work, but you monsters, I do not know your guys' tea. So I feel very unsafe because I don't like, what do you mean the blob? What do you mean the blob? Um, so
Yeah, I
I
suppose
guess
that's what makes them frightening is they're incomprehensible, you
I
know?
know, 'cause I'm like, "Who even
The
what?" And
thing
I
is out
know
here
there's
thinging.
okay, yeah, the thing one thing about the thing, it be thinging.
Yeah.
So I think I actually do have an answer for this because of my hometown connection. Because
Mm.
this monster movie was actually filmed where I'm from. So I'm going to say The Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Ah, excellent.
It was
Excellent choice.
filmed in Wakulla Springs, which is a naturally occurring spring in Tallahassee, Florida.
Nice.
And they
And is
always
it
made sure to tell us that on the boat tour that they filmed out there.
That's the thing about it is, no matter where you go, locals love a little legend. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're all the same. We all want a little attention. Not too much now, but a little attention. We just want our
Well,
due.
credit. We just want our fair share.
to to quote Sally. Ugh.
Yeah.
I had to think for a second. Ugh, how embarrassing. I couldn't remember Charlie Brown's little sister's name off the top of my head right away. Anyway, is the lagoon black?
It prefers African American.
Fair enough. But I apologize. I apologize.
It's okay. No, but actually, no, it's pretty clear. There's like manatees and alligators and things in there, and you can see them. I don't know what the creature was doing in there to make it black, but
I think
I
that's
guess I'll have to
because.
watch.
I'm sorry.
I guess I'll have to watch the movie to find out how the lagoon became black.
That's true. That's fair. I feel like having manatees and alligators in the same body of water seems bad.
Right.
Hmm.
And you're right. And you're right to. You know what? You're right to think that.
Okay. Well, thank you.
They seem to coexist, as far as I know.
Hmm.
As far as I know, they seem to coexist and they're okay.
Okay.
Alligators are after other things.
I mean, that makes sense.
The
I feel
manatees
like
mind their business.
manatees do be minding their own business. That's true. I feel like alligators are so utilitarian. They're like, well, I'm not going to go after that. It doesn't make sense. This is so much easier to catch or whatever it is,
Exactly. And manatees know they will never be fast enough to beat an alligator, so they're going to mind their business.
True. Sometimes life is beautiful.
It is. Nature. Wildlife.
Final question is, as always, why is Austin Powers so sexy? What about the man makes him so sexy?
Well, the accent.
Oh.
I feel like the accent something's there because it'd be easy to be like, oh, well, he's just so confident. Like, look, he loves himself, so it makes you love him. But I'm sure there's a lot of American men who would look like that and walk into a room and act like that, and people would probably call the authorities. So I think inherently, since he has an English accent, that he's, not as much of a threat. And it's more, he's just a geezer. There's a charm there that I think helps.
I like that a lot. I think that's a very good answer. You're the first person to bring up the accent, actually. I asked everybody there and no one's brought it up so far. Also, it's just, imagine someone turning to Austin going, "Oi, geezer, you can't park there." Calling him a geezer, very good. Oh, absolutely. Knocked it out of the park. 10 out of 10.
Yay!
Are you ready for the game?
Yes.
Game. All right. Random word is Dine. D-I-N-E. Dine.
D-I-N-E.
Dine. I think I have someone percolating, but obviously I always defer to the guest because you are in my home, and that's, I think, the polite thing to do. So if you have something that's really speaking to you, please go on ahead.
Okay. There are two schools of thoughts here.
Okay.
When I hear dine, of course, diner. A lot of beautiful stories happen there. It's typically a pillar of the community. So there's great places we could go. The other place, dine, we have high dining. There's recently been, like the menu, things where like they take on like the world of high dining and how potentially scary that could be. So I feel like either of those were speaking to me. I know those were both a little bit literal, so I'd like to hear where your mind went.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense. I thought of a diner first, as well, and then I thought dine and dash. But I feel like what's coming to me with all three of these ideas is someone who works at a diner is trying to move up in the world to fine dining, but it only to assist a dine and dash with his friends, and it's like a heist movie. But
Okay.
they're just trying to get into like a nice restaurant is all, because they get turned away because they look like idiots or whatever the reason may be. So that's kind of what comes to my mind immediately. Either that or it's about cannibalism. Those are the two things that I have floating around.
Right. Cannibalism, dine and
Cannibalism.
dash, fine dining, cannibalism, dine and dash, fine dining.
A cannibal dine and dasher is funny as a concept.
Yeah.
You've heard of grave robbing. Step aside. Dine. I think doing something with fine dining would be fun. And living in that world would be fun.
Yes.
Just because.
So these fine dining restaurants, they're always like super high concept.
Yeah.
So like the restaurant will literally be called like P, and all they serve you is like a singular P on your plate. Like I think if it's something like ridiculously specifically high concept gourmet, that's really funny too.
I think if the restaurant is called P, there should be some sort of like the way they cook it is underneath a stack of mattresses.
Yes. And you can taste the difference.
You can absolutely taste the difference. And then they also sell the mattresses? What is this store?
What is the store? Definitely a front for the mob. Ooh, fine dining restaurant, front for the mob.
There we go.
But maybe one of the mobsters actually does want to go to culinary school.
I love that. I like that a lot.
And maybe when they want to whack someone, they make them into the food. So there you get your cannibalism.
I think then it kind of has to kind of follow a Sweeney Todd sort of formula, in as much as the guy who wants to go to culinary school, he's no good at cooking. Everyone's like, Tommy, you know you love to cook, but you're so bad at it. Then someone gets accidentally turned. He cooks someone accidentally. And everyone's like, oh my God, this food is so good.
This is delicious. This is the best thing you ever done, Tommy.
Exactly. And now he has to keep it going. So he has to find fault with people to have them whacked off.
Okay, we're getting a little Shop of Horrors moment.
Yeah, I suppose, having only seen through Steve Martin singing the dentist song, I will take your word for it.
He starts trying to find bad people to feed to the plant. So he's
sure.
Good people to the plant.
Yeah, there's also a great dark comedy film called Burke and Hare, which is about two people in Edinburgh, Scotland in the 1800s who are killing people to get cadavers for Edinburgh College.
For the med students?
For the med students, yeah. It's great. It's Simon Pegg, Andy Serkis, Christopher Lee, Tim Curry,
I'm on board with those
and
guys.
I can't remember the lady's name off the top of my head. Gal from Now You See Me. Anyway.
Oh, Isla Fisher?
Yes. Anyhow, I like that idea. And I think doing it through the lens of the mob could be fun. What do you think? Is this what we're going with?
Yes, I like it. I think mob movies are always so fun. They're just the biggest characters, but then there's such like a, how do I explain it? Where it's just like, they will be so hardcore with like killing these people and wanting their money, but then no one is more like family oriented and loving. Like that duality is so interesting.
Yeah, I should say so. Yeah. I think that's good. I think then does the guy or the person who wants to go to culinary school like go to school after they successfully kill somebody and then they have to kill like fellow students in culinary school? How do we want to go here?
I don't know if he should kill fellow students, at least not regularly, because that would be hard to keep going. Like they would know there was a killer on campus. We can't keep this up.
That's true. You'd think.
So he can't do it all in one place. So I'd say me.
And why do you know that, Sammy?
Oh, I'm my cousin. My cousin told me that from his travels. It could work if like since he's already involved in the mob, like maybe the mob's literally like, here's all these people that owe us money who are rats and we need them
Mhm.
dead. And he's like, great, I can do the killing. Or is he really a killer?
No, of
Or is he
course.
just coming in to like take the bodies? Or maybe he's like, I'll take care of these bodies by making them in my pasta fazool.
I think this is it, if I may.
Please.
It's it's we don't want you to be a cook. We want you to be involved with the mob. That he
Yes.
makes that one thing and goes, wow, you really are good at that. Too bad it's not a legitimate choice for you. And he goes, oh, you want me to be involved with the family business? I'll start whacking these guys in order to be able to do the thing and eventually convince you that I am a good enough chef to just pursue it. So they both get to, have their cake and eat it too. But then, of course, the problem has to be that I assume patriarch of the society is like, you're only doing these killings just to cook.
I love how they're okay with cannibalism, but they're like, okay, but you're cooking. You're not actually wanting to kill for the
Exactly.
love of the game.
Exactly. I think that's very good. Killing for the
What's our
love
main
of the game.
character's name?
I think it should be Tony with an I.
Oh, okay. To show
Yeah.
that he's already different.
Yeah, exactly. And they're like, why is it Tony with an I? And they always go, his mother was Protestant. You know?
Yes. Yes.
That old chestnut. I think that would be good. And then I think Tony's dad should be named.
I love a Giuseppe. I love a Giuseppe.
Hell yeah. A name I would not have thought of. So, yes, absolutely. Giuseppe.
Yeah. I watch a lot of Housewives of New Jersey, and all of them are named this.
Okay.
All of them are named these things, and then every single one of their husbands goes by Joe. I'm not even kidding.
So I feel like there should be three Giuseppes then. There should be Joe, there should be Giuseppe, then there should be
Yes.
Joe, and there should be Jojo.
Yes.
And those are the three main guys,
Yeah, that's big three.
the big three, and each one of them has a son named Tony. One of them is Tony with an I, one's Tony with a
With an E.
with a little over it. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Like the R&B group. And then Tony.
You absolutely understand what I'm going with. That's so good. Okay, I like that a lot. Do we have any ideas of like who we'd want to cast in these roles immediately, or do we want to do more of the story and then have it come?
Let's go ahead and cast them, and that can maybe inform some of the story. We need who are like the young Italian
Yeah.
actors. Is it important that they are authentically Italian?
I say this as someone who is not Italian. No.
Okay, great. As long as you're okay with it.
Yeah, exactly. I don't care. I think there's been a lot of Italian people playing all
Okay.
sorts of kinds of people.
And you should say that. Then I think our Tony should be Dave Franco. I think he is so cute and so funny and just like physical comedy of him like chopping up these body parts and trying to like hide a corpse behind him would be hilarious.
Can I tell you, now that you've cast him, absolutely every time he kills somebody, it is an arduous task. It is like, Zaboomafoo, things are falling out of the
Yes.
closet. Yeah, absolutely. 100% on board Dave Franco with a big mustache.
Yes.
Yes. Ugh. And he also can play dirtbag so well and but also be so charming while doing it. Ugh.
Yeah.
I think he's perfect. I think that's great.
All right. Who do we got as his father, Giuseppe, Joe?
I think my two in my mind, I initially thought Martin Short doing like a big character,
Yeah.
or alternatively John Lithgow also doing a character but a little bit more muted.
Oh, okay. I think we both are essential to this picture. I think we do John as Giuseppe 1, Tony's father, And then we have Martin Short as one of the Uncle Giuseppes.
I think that's good.
He can be the one tasting the food and being like, "This is food, is it crazy? What's going on?" But not the father who needs to be like bad cop sometimes. Like he's just truly going to be wacky uncle, giving us wedding planner from Father of the Bride again.
Fantastic. I love that. That's great. And then I think I think JoJo should be Aunt JoJo somehow.
Yes.
Somehow.
Oh, I love this. Can it please be Patti LuPone?
Yeah, it absolutely could be Patti LuPone. I think that's fucking great.
I just, in my mind's eye, Tristan, I see a scene. I just know a sausage grinder is going to come into play here.
Excellent.
And I see a sausage grinder scene happening. That is happening beautifully. Dave Franco's doing the sausage grinder with one of these victims. And we have Patti LuPone singing one of the great Italian hits, I'm sure, as this is all happening.
I would pitch for her to sing. It's not an Italian hit, but it was Lonely at the Top.
Okay.
By Randy Newman, which is originally written for Frank Sinatra.
Oh,
while
perfect.
He's slowly grinding meat, singing, "Oh, it's lonely at the top," is really, I think, good.
Oh, that would be perfect. I like this.
Yeah.
All right, should we get back into the plot?
Yes, I think so as well.
Okay, so what is our main conflict going to be? Because it seems like his family's okay with this. So who is he hiding this from?
I think he's hiding, I think Tony with an I, Tony, Dave Franco, is passing his food off as Aunt JoJo's. Because no one wants Tony to be a chef at all, even though that's like a big thing, but they see it as like quote unquote woman's work.
Okay.
And because these people are bigoted or whatever, I guess, in this story, because there has to be conflict.
Do you think Aunt JoJo is working with him to do this, or maybe Aunt JoJo's on vacation and he's just passing it off while she's gone? Or
I hadn't thought of that, but I love like Aunt JoJo. He's like, yeah, she left some food for us while she was away. And then she's like away in Naples or whatever. And then she comes back and eats this and goes, "This is people." And everyone's like, "What?" And they're like, "How do you know what people taste like?"
She's like, "You don't know how I do Naples."
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's a great, like, I think that's great because later on, then that's like the third act muddle or whatever.
Oh yeah, she comes back early or unexpectedly.
Exactly. See, you get it.
Yes, I love that. I love a wrench in the plans. And I would love, how do you feel about romance?
I love it. I love.
I would love if he had some like culinary school bae that he's also juggling in the midst of all of this.
Yeah, I think he's also then trying to cook well to impress her, obviously.
Yeah. It could be culinary school bae. It could be maybe she is a server at the restaurant too. What do you think?
I think it should be, she should somehow be a chef.
Okay, gotcha. So culinary school.
Yeah, because that like heightens the stakes of everything. Because he has to cook well. Because if it's pretty easy. As someone who's worked in restaurants, it's pretty easy to seduce a server. I don't know if you know this.
Yeah, a lot of quality time together.
A lot of just chatting around. You get to know some people. Whereas like with a chef, they're like going all the time. So it really has to stand out. And maybe this is just because I've been rewatching Friends a lot lately, is to put Courtney Cox as like an older woman that he has like a huge crush on that's like a chef.
That might be the most inspired thing I've ever heard. I am obsessed with that for her, for this movie. I think that's perfect.
Good, I'm so glad.
I think she's exactly who that should be. She's giving us Cougar Town truly.
I forgot she was on Cougar Town.
So it's already part of her brand.
Yeah, it is. Oh, that's so good. So I love that him trying to impress it, and then it's going okay with his family now that he's killing all these people, and John Lithgow is really proud of him. So that's going smoothly. that
Right, and
bit.
he's this woman in his life, he's refining his cooking skills, his family's off his back, like, things are good.
And then Aunt JoJo comes back early and blows up his
Yes.
spot.
Yes. I think our first complication, our mini
Mm-hmm.
wrench, could maybe be something like a food inspector.
Okay. Yeah.
The restaurant inspector comes and is like, "Oh, I just need to look in your freezers," but the freezers is probably lots of arms and legs and torsos. So we could have some hilarity ensue.
I like that idea a lot.
And, I don't know if
Oh,
that would feed into Aunt JoJo getting there.
I think that's a great first complication, and I think Alan Tudyk should play the health inspector.
Yeah! Oh, perfect. Yes, 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 yes.
He's like, "What are you doing here? What is all of this? I can't. What are you? What is?" And I think that obviously then Dave Franco has to kill him. There's only one
Oh,
way out of it, and then of
I've
course
seen too much.
he's seen too much. But then I think what adds to this is Courtney Cox's restaurant that she owns
Right?
is got a bad rating. And then you get a number of weeks before the health inspector comes back to inspect it. And it's during that time where the health inspector inspects another restaurant that Dave Franco's at, right? Or whatever.
Right?
And since it's the same jurisdiction, he's like, I got the health inspector off your back, which endears him to her.
Oh, wow.
You know?
I love how everyone's okay with the murder, though, actually.
You know, what can you do? Well, she doesn't need to know that. He's just like, yeah, don't worry, I took care of it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, maybe he, like, takes oh my gosh. What if he can, like, take his phone using, like, his, like, finger, his, like, cut off finger to get into his, like, phone and, like, give, like, a good review now.
Oh, that's so good. You can be
And then
like,
Courtney Cox is, like, my hero.
that's very, very good. Oh, and he's like, yeah, don't worry. I talked to him about it and made him understand there was a misunderstanding, and
I
I took
gave
care
him
of
the
it.
Tony touch, the Tony magic, and I got him off his back.
Yeah, so now you got an A. How's that sound? And of course, she's like, thank you so much, but also she's miffed because like she wanted to earn it herself, but she's also grateful, and that's complicated.
Yeah. It's hard being a woman in this industry.
But I like that as a good first muddle. And then I feel like another one has to happen where it feels like she's going to figure out that he's killing people.
Okay.
Right.
Here, I think one of the only essential movie elements we're missing is a child. Because children, they figure everything out immediately
It's
and they
true.
see through it. So I don't know if he has a little cousin or maybe Courtney Cox has a child that she introduces Dave Franco to and he like sees something. But I feel like a child being like a whistleblower could be them.
I think that's great. I think that's a really good element to add. I think it should be her kid. And I think when they're going out on their date, she's like, I have a secret I have to tell you. And he's like, oh, thank God, me too. And then she's
Oh,
like, I have a kid. He's like, never mind. I have nothing to tell you.
He's like, I had sweat a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's good. So I think the kid should figure it out as well as, but how does that resolve? How do you reckon?
Okay, well, I need to see what exactly this kid is like really finding out because I don't want to see a child like opening the meat locker and seeing like a torso in there.
Yeah, that's too much, I feel.
But maybe, let's say, maybe the inspector is missing and maybe he had like some distinctive like watch or a keychain, and maybe the kid sees that around.
I was thinking much along the same lines. What if the inspector's phone is still there?
Oh yeah, maybe the kid's like, "Can I play games on the phone?"
And he's like, yeah, sure, whatever. And it's just
Yeah,
the health
his
inspector's
phone.
phone. And they're
Yeah.
like, and then obviously then that causes them to go, okay, well then how did you fix this? And then that adds conflict there. I think that's very good. Ugh, way to go. Love that idea. Thanks. Go team. Okay, so we have that, and then so that's obviously in terms of like the rom-com thing. That's when they break apart because she's like, I can't be someone who kills people.
You killed him. How do you tell me you didn't kill this man and you have his phone?
Yeah, exactly. And she's like, I can't do this. I can't do this anymore. I'm taking little Jimmy and I'm getting out of here.
Getting the hell out of here.
And then I think that's when Aunt JoJo should come back, because he comes back to the restaurant that, you know, I've been envisioning him cooking in is like a VFW or wherever the mobsters hang out has a kitchen.
Right.
And he comes back to there and he's just like so tired. He's so upset. And then he hears everyone laughing from the other room and he's like, oh, maybe it won't be so bad. And then it's Aunt JoJo. And she's like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And then she turns to him and goes, I need to talk to you for a minute. You know, and she switches and it brings him to the kitchen. It's like, you don't think I fucking know what people taste like? You don't think I've gone down this exact same path?
How do you think I paid my way through school? Exactly. I wasn't born yesterday, Tony, with an I.
Tony with an I. I think that's very good. I think Tony with an I is so silly. Yeah, I imagine all of them like playing cards and then they're talking in the kitchen. And it's like, I know why you're doing this. You gotta tell your father you want to be a chef. There's nothing wrong with that. I didn't make any of this. Because again, like, she's confronting him, I feel like, initially, because he had lied and said all of this food was made by her.
Yeah.
And so he's like, oh no, she knows that I'm been feeding people. And she's like, no. Yeah, she doesn't. I think she does know, but during the conversation, it goes like, you got to tell him that this isn't my food. And he goes, oh, thank God. I thought it was about what? That the fact that it's people, you know about the two. It's like, yeah, I don't mind the murder. I mind the lying.
You know what? That's the problem for me. You were not raised this way.
Exactly. The murder, it happens. What can you do? The lying, though. The lying.
That's where we draw the line. That's Russ DePaglia's draw the line.
Yeah, I think that's good. How do you think it should resolve now that he has to confront his dad about everything?
I think there's some big event. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's like the dad's birthday, and Tony has to cook, but this time he's going to use real food. He's going to use real food. And he's going to make his dad eat it. And he's going to work all night preparing this whole meal. And give it to everyone and have his dad try a bite. And after he tries that bite, Tony might finally give his big monologue of, because, you know, sometimes like after at really fancy places, the chef will come out and say like whatever is happening. He'll finally be able to say the full menu and he'll be like, you know, this is the first time I'm able to come out here and say this actual menu because, there was a secret ingredients I couldn't tell yous about. The ingredients was people's. What? Everyone's gonna shock and awe. Oh my God! I was eating people this whole summer.
Except for Martin Short, who continues to eat faster.
Yeah, actually, it's like, you gonna finish that? And they're gonna be in shock and awe. And he's gonna see. You see how you ate this without any concern or questions. Because it tasted just the same as food. And you see, people's a lot like that. We're all the same. Just because I kill and I'm part of this mafia family doesn't mean I can't also be a chef. I could be the next Gordon. I could be the next Bobby. Or maybe our great one, Giada. And they, you know, are going to say, look, we're sorry that we made you be this way. And if you really want to cook, as hard as it is for us to understand, if that's what makes you happy, we can't stop you. And maybe the dad can be like, you know, I wanted to be a baker. My creme brulee was the best in the tri-state area. But I had mob responsibilities and I don't want that for you.
I think that's good. Yeah. I can imagine John Lithgow going, listen, son, I had dreams of being a baker. And Tony over there wanted to be a candlestick maker. I can't believe it. But yeah, that's really good. I really like that.
How do we get Courtney Cox back over
Yeah, that
here?
was my next question. I think.
Do you think he calls her for help to make this meal, and that's how
That's
they
great.
connect?
That's so good. That's really good. And he can be like, I'm sorry, I should have let you just like do your restaurant on your own merit, and I just need, I tried to help you. I tried to do that's the right thing, and I'm asking you for a little help now because I know I can't fix everything. I need a little help from people, and I think that's really good. I almost, yeah. I like that a lot. I think that's very good. I think that's very wholesome. I think it's a good ending. I think we did it.
Good. What's the title?
Oh, sure. I mean,
Like a special sauce,
Sunday sauce,
Sunday sauce, red
Yo Gabba
sauce.
Gabba Ghoul.
No, that's something there.
That's something that's not this, but it's definitely something. I'm not sure. I mean, Dine is generally, it's where we got from. Diner Takes All. People are gonna read it Dinner Takes All, and they're gonna be like, you've made a mistake. And it's like, actually, no.
Nope,
actually.
that was, you played right into my hand.
The Merry Wives of Diner. This is just like me, like trying to get anywhere near.
What if it's like something with Tony? Take out Tony's.
Take out Tony's. Tony, and Tony. Tony. Giuseppe. I got it. Eat at Joe's.
Eat at Joe's.
Eat at Joe's. Who do you think the director should be?
Great question. Because we need someone who really gets humor.
Mm-hmm.
Would love a Paul Feig.
Sure.
How do you pronounce his last name?
I think Feige, but I don't know.
Oh.
Maybe that's someone else. No, that's someone else.
Oh, no, that's the Marvel man.
Yeah, that's the Marvel man.
Who did like Bridesmaids.
Oh yeah, Paul Feig. Yes, I think that is. I think that'd be good. Yeah, and that way it's also broad in tone, which is good, which is great for Courtney, great for Dave, great for Blith, and great for everybody we put in. I don't know why I'm surprised it's like a comedy with everyone we put in this thing. It'd be crazy if it wouldn't be. Martin Short's good on Only Murders, but like he's still doing a goofy performance,
Yeah.
But yeah. Did we say who the other two Tonys were? Did we ever get to that?
No, we still have one more Giuseppe. Which Joe was that?
No, I thought it was Aunt JoJo, Giuseppe, and then Martin Short.
JoJo.
Those are the three Joes. Yes.
So we need the two Tonys. Those cousins.
Mm-hmm. The cousins.
Who else? Who else would I like to see here? Who am I always happy to see enter a movie screen?
Specifically in a comedy.
Yes. Okay. I think Adam Devine is so funny.
Okay. Yeah.
From Pitch Perfect and Workaholics. He's really funny.
I think that's good. I think Tim Robinson would be fucking insane.
Oh wait. Oh, he would be Martin Short's son.
And yeah, I was gonna say having those two together, like yelling at each other, because you just have a little moment of like, and then we're gonna pan the camera over here. They're doing something crazy, and then you pan back to the story, and it's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yes, I can just see, the moment when Tony with an eye reveals like it's food you're eating and Martin Short's still scarfing it down. You'd be like, pack this up, son. And Tim Robinson is going to start making the doggy down, like emptying everyone's plates onto his.
Into a loose plastic bag. No Tupperware, just a plastic bag.
That he does keep on him. He's gonna open the bag and start clearing everything into it, including the garlic knots.
Absolutely. Oh, I think as well, it should pan over. People are pouring wine, for this nice fancy meal. He just puts a 2-liter Mountain Dew on the table. Rips it open.
Code red.
Exactly, you know it. And Martin Short is like there with like 5 Red Bulls for no reason. And then I think there should be someone should be like smoking, and Martin Short goes, that's bad for you, right?
As he's like clutching his chest, probably.
Exactly. Ooh, I'm feeling weird today again, or whatever it is. Oh, that's so good. That was heaps of fun. Do you want to do a lightning round, or?
Yes.
Okay. Just to remind, lightning round, we both get the same prompt, and then we do a small little pitch.
All right.
I will go first. Prevalence is the first one. Prevalence, to prevail. I think mine is about a racehorse that. No, that's just Seabasket. Never mind. I think prevalence for me is about a car that is passed down from generation to generation within a family, and it just keeps on. You just keep tuning it up, and it keeps going from like 1950 whatever through 2020, and it's just about you have to keep going, no matter how hard it gets.
Oh, that was so good.
Hey, thanks.
Prevalence, this has nothing to do with the word, but like valent made me think of covalent bonds.
Okay.
So I was like, maybe we're due for like another like Osmosis Jones movie about like actual like ionic bonds.
Sick.
And how that might, look at those. No.
Yeah, the connection I think is bad at the moment, I'm afraid. Pause the recording here.
Yes. So just how it would look if bonds were anthropomorphized. I wish I knew more. I wish I paid more attention in science to know exactly what these bonds do. But I'm sure they would have a fun coming of age adventure.
Yeah, I think that sounds very good. I think we are overdue. I'm kind of surprised there hasn't been like a pitch for an Osmosis Jones 2, to be honest.
I know. And I'm like, there's so many more horrible things that we put in our bodies that I would like to see. Like who would not want to see like what the vape effects are? I'm sure voiced by Amy Schumer, what like vape lungs would be doing in there.
I just imagine David Hyde Pierce going, I believe those are microplastics.
Yeah. Oh, yep.
Ooh. Sort of thing. All right, next one is Hill, Hill. Hill. Tell you about a man named Hill. So he's a music man.
Oh my goodness. You see the Hugh Jackman and Sutton Foster together?
Yes, I had seen it. I had known it for a bit. Yeah. Ugh.
No, it's just Music Man. It's just simply too sexy. It's just
nothing gets me hotter than swindling a town and children. I don't know what to tell you.
76 trombones.
In this big parade? Do you think that's what he calls it?
Oh, Tristan. You think they should poopy?
They fucking better.
I know at this point. Anyway,
Hill. I think for me, Hill is me going to ask, can you go first? Because all I can think of is King of the Hill, and I'm having a really hard time swerving away from that.
I can go first. Thank you.
You
Whenever they do those like crazy like disaster action movies and they just name it like that movie where the plane crashes and it's called like Plane.
Yeah.
So Hill would be like a dramatic retelling of Jack and Jill. So they're at the top of this hill. And then they look down and suddenly they're falling down. Bones broken. Jack's femur is literally sticking out of his skin. His crown is lost. Jill doesn't know what's going on. She lost like half of her hair on the fall. And now they have to get through the wilderness to return home.
Oh, I love that. I love that a lot. That never in a million years would I have come to that conclusion. It's fantastic. Excuse me. I think for me, Hill is about Sir Edmund Hillary, who is one of the first two people to ascend to the top of Mount Everest, and it's about him prepping to do that. And I think it should be played by Carl Urban, notable
Ooh, I
Kiwi,
like him.
yeah, notable Kiwi actor. So you got to keep it within the country, otherwise they'll riot. But that, whatever reason, also you really hit the Jack and Jill thing. But nursery rhyme shit still so funny to me. Don't know why. Cannot tell you. Anytime it's some sort of public domain thing, I don't know why. I'm like, I swallowed that fly. Okay, we have coat. I have a notion, but if you also have one, go for it.
No, you go ahead and you take this one first. Let me think.
Sure thing. For me, coat is about it's about a father and son who are builders and painters of houses. And it's about their struggle after the wife/mother has passed away, and they have nothing really in common left because the main thing that was holding them together was her. And so now it's about these two reconnecting, and rather than putting up walls and coats, they're trying to break them down. While they're
take out the paint thinner.
Take out that's the slug. Take out the paint thinner.
This spring, take out the paint thinner.
Exactly.
Okay, my coat is a psychological thriller about a black lab who becomes obsessed with how shiny his coat can become. He sees other dogs and is constantly envious, and he starts taking drastic measures to become as shiny as possible.
That's so good. That's quite strong. I like that a lot. Well, that's pretty well it. What do you want people to know that listen to this podcast about you? You got a Substack? Maybe leave with that?
I do have a Substack, thank you. SamiSays.substack.com, where I'm just putting all my thoughts about pop culture, about life in the big city, and just whatever comes to mind. You can find me on Instagram at sami.riou. Just, having fun, laughs, pranks, yapping. Yeah. Thank you so much for having me. I had the best time yapping with you. And I actually really want to see this movie.
Yeah, I do too. It sounds, you always know it's like a good app when you walk out and you're like, I kind of wish that was happening, actually.
Yeah. Wait, should we write? Should we write this?
Yeah.
Because there's something here. There's a huge vehicle for Dave Franco if he doesn't book the Luigi Mangione biopic.
No kidding. And I would like to remind you, the listener, that if you would like to support this podcast, you can go to tristanmiller.substack.com for early access, as well as the video, as well as a monthly podcast where I talk to people about their comfort movies called Movies to Fall Asleep To. And that's always really lovely because there's no pressure. It's just a bit of a chat to put you to sleep. And if you somehow stumbled across this and don't follow me, go to tristanjmiller.com, I guess. I don't know what anything is anymore. You can figure it out. Thank you again for doing the podcast. And I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me. It's always good to see you.
Yes, good to see you too. I had so much fun.